Thank you, Lynn. Did anybody have questions for Lynn? Okay, sorry, did you already do that?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, next is, Hollylanders would like to give you an update on our favorite geese.
Stay the long.
So the good news is we had no new babies this year, which is awesome. So we've had like 5 resident geese, and then another group joined them for molting season, which, just to remind everybody, we're not allowed to harass the geese while they're molting because they can't fly away. They don't have any chance. So, or if you do, don't get caught. But, let's see. So since the 5 geese that we have, we kind of anticipate that they may be immature geese that weren't ready to nest. So we will be keeping a close eye on that next spring. So we'll be doing diligent nest searches, and if we need to manage the eggs, or Nutmeg would be managing the eggs. The fencing has obviously been very effective. Our beaches are significantly cleaner than they've been in the past. But we only have a couple of volunteers that are helping putting the fencing back up. So either if I can get more volunteers, that would be fantastic. Or people, if you're walking by the beaches like 7 o'clock or after and notice that the fences were left down, if you could put them back up. At the same time, it's when they will tend to come up or when the beaches are empty. So that we're just kind of keeping that in mind. But I'm certainly open for volunteers. It doesn't take much. It's just putting it back in. And you want to put it like right at the water line. You don't want to really allow there to be a ledge outside, because then they would find that to be a roosting spot. Sometimes it's hard to keep up with the height of the water because if it rains, it gets fuller, and then sometimes when we haven't had rain for a long time, they just might need to be adjusted again. And then otherwise, if there's any new owners that have not signed a waiver to allow us to access their property in the spring to look for this, I do have copies with me, and you can come see me after the meeting.
Are there any questions for Holly? Holly.
Jason Griffin, 83 Wildwood. The geese issue is great. Now, I'm just curious, I know we don't have any control of it. The 2 or 3 property owners at the south end of Second Beach, have we ever contacted them about a fence? Because that's usually where I see geese. They have a huge grass field there.
Everybody's been notified that fencing is an option, but I think one of the houses seems to be empty. I know they were refurbishing it last year, and I haven't seen people in there. And then the corner house, so they are aware, but just haven't put up any fencing. Unfortunately,
we could, if we offered, because it's such a big area.
Actually, my cousin found one there.
You gotta just get her permission, that's all.
yeah. But then I'd be using my fencing that would have been
Right,
allocated for beaches and
right.
whatnot.
So we've offered fencing for people to purchase, or
that we're given the link to it,
yeah.
Yeah, the fencing we think is not inexpensive fencing, it's effective, and it's easy to manage because it's pretty flexible. You can roll it up and you want to take it down. Yeah. I mean, there isn't enough scrubby stuff how to get hurt area, but there is that access where the wall is, and they just come in the corner, and I chase them off. Well, up until molting season I did, but yeah, I'm not quite sure what else to do there with people's private property.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks. If anybody has any questions, comments, or would like to help Holly, she has an email, geese@lakehaywardct.com. Appropriately. All right, so Julia's still a little busy, so I'm just going to give a quick rundown on properties. We actually don't have a lot. I mean, you can see a lot of what's been done. We did have our parking lot redone this year. There was a problem with the factory or the material, but it looks great. I also wanted to mention we've been talking about this since last year, and it's been a pretty good success. We have an app called Team Reach. and it has it's the code for so you would download the app. And the code is POALH, POALH 214. And that would get you into the group. What we do with that group is, I think there's 63 members now. And when we have a project coming up, we put it on there and we say how many people we need and what we're doing, you know, with a list of the project. So it's a good way, it keeps the community involved. We've, like I said, there's 63 people on there. It also keeps you in the know of what's happening. So if you'd like to get on that, and you perhaps have any trouble, you can get a hold of Chris P. at lakehaywardct.com, and he can help you out. That's really all I have for properties. Like I said, we have new kiosks. A lot of this was put in the newsletters. We've really been, you know, trying to keep things in a good order. One comment I just wanted to make was, and actually I might give this to Brian. Pavilion housekeeping a little bit. If you just want to talk about that a little bit. Cleaning up spills and,
Yeah, I think there was a email blast about it. Yeah, if you see something, kind of do something, clean up, help keep the pavilion clean. I guess basics of it.
yeah, we had a hard time. We had a hard time with people. There were a lot of spills on the floor. There were a lot of spills on the floor. There was a lot of just, you know, it was a mess. And we had to use Dawn and all kinds of stuff to get the spills off. And also the garbage, the beach breaker does take the garbage 5 days a week. However, if you see the bag full, there's always new bags underneath. Take the garbage, put it in the bucket over in the end of the parking lot, and just put a new liner in. We're all here to work together. So, yeah.
Lynn Butler, 93 Wildwood. I wanted to say, in addition to that, you know, it's like before the bands come in, I'm down here and I'm, you know, cleaning, blowing all the sand off. Some of it is wet, which means there's mud. And we have to keep it safe for people as they're coming to dance. People are coming in and out. So my husband and I are willing to spend some time with a power washer down here, but it really is more than a two-person job. So if anybody is interested in helping, I think like maybe OxyClean or something might get some of the stains out. The walls up here need to be brushed or, you know, swept off or something. But we're trying to make it so that everybody has an enjoyable, clean place to stay. And, you know, that trash last night was really heavy after Oz and Bones was here. So yes, it's true. People have to just empty the trash if they see it big, you know, like way too heavy. It's, you know, we have stuff going on and we just have to take care of it.
It takes a village. Actually, Lynn, we can, Chris, could you put that on Team Reach and maybe we can make a plan to have, yeah, we'll get a date and we'll put it on Team Reach on the properties and see if we can get that done. Okay. All right. Is there, oh, yeah.
I just want to bring up one item for consideration by the board. Himati Silver, 24 Gliver Glen. As you all know, Gliver Glen has not been vested in the town and is gradually deteriorating beyond hope. Water is running down, which none of us can do anything about, and is creating tracks. I am afraid that one day it's going to become a hazard. A lot of vehicles still use that road, and if you are living on the road as we do, we find that UPS and FedEx and all of them are using that in preference perhaps to put on Lakeshore Drive. Maybe I'm mistaken or I'm biased, I don't know. I had brought up this issue of the needed repairs for Gliver Glen in the past. And that's been when I was on the board, and we have not done anything about it. And it continues to deteriorate each year. So I want to put it on, we have a lot of expenses coming up with the dam, but the roadway is used by a lot of people and certainly needs to be a consideration.
So, hi, I'm Dave Giroux, and I live in Plymouth Glen as well. And someone just said that it's a private road, and that's a question. Because the last time the town issued a list, they included Plymouth Glen in the list of town-owned roads. One of the things we've been discussing on the board, actually there's two. One is the assets and what we should do about repairing Plymouth Glen. And the other is, do we actually approach the town and legally clarify whether or not we own the road or whether they own the road? And it's a delicate question, because if the town owns the road, then we can get the town to repair the road. If we own the road, then, and I've done some research, it's about 150,000 plus to get that road fixed. Okay. So it's roughly between 150,000 to $200,000 question as to whether or not we own the road or whether or not the town owns the road. We've had several discussions on this. So it hasn't been something that we've been ignoring. It's just something that we're kind of approaching carefully.
I can tell you that when I was on the board, I did go down and meet the selectmen and talk with them. Basically, what they told me was that it was not included